Alright, so you've passed your A2 license and you're wondering what motorcycle should you get, but there are not so many options to choose from. This is where power limiters come into place. They're allowing you to get a motorcycle as big as 600 or even 1000cc, if you obey the rules we'll talk about later. But first of all, how does it even work? There are a few ways to restrict your bike, depending on the model. First of all three is the restrictions on the airflow or the fuel supply to the engine, which reduces the power it can produce. The power used for homologation calculations is measured at the crankshaft. Intake restrictions, or some say airflow reduction, is a physical narrowing in the intake system that limits the amount of air reaching the engine, resulting in lower power. Without enough air in the engine, computer will automatically lower the amount of fuel it's dispensing. This process happens automatically, no matter how much throttle you add. Secondly, it's modification of the fuel system. Adjustments to the carburetor or the fuel injection system that alter the fuel delivery or engine parameters. The same principle applies here as with the airflow reduction. Less fuel means less power. Even if you open the throttle completely, no more power will be delivered. There are also other options where neither the air intake or fuel injection is interfered. Then we usually talk about throttle restrictions. In that case, throttle can only go so far to produce 35 kilowatts of power, and it's physically blocked to go any further. For the newer bike with electronic control unit or ECU, there is also a possibility to control fuel injections by reprogramming the ECU. Okay, but some people may think that you will be able to remove the restrictions after everything is registered and ride without it. It's not really possible. First of all, there are physical changes that are usually reversible but must be made permanent if the bike is to legally homologate for A2. And secondly, you may think that your friend mechanic can mark that he did put the restrictions on when it's not the case. It's also not possible, as only certified mechanic shops can do those restrictions. Then, you may think maybe somebody is able to get the registration set up, register as A2 motorcycle, and then remove it himself. That may be a little bit tricky, but if you have the right tools, it can be possible. Problem appears when police stop you. First of all, some police officers, if they are trained well enough, will see that the part that is supposed to stop you from exceeding the limit is removed. They can check the loudness of the sound, which with higher power bike is significantly higher. If they suspect something, they may put your bike on a dynamometer to check the exact power there. If after what you've heard, you still want to restrict your dream bike, make sure to follow these rules. For the bike to be legal for A2 license in EU, it must not exceed 35 kilowatts or 47.6 horsepower. Additionally, the power-to-weight ratio must not exceed 0.2 kilowatts per kilogram. For example, if a motorcycle weighs 130 kilograms, its maximum allowed power is 130 times 0.2, which equals 26 kilowatts. This is a crucial condition that is sometimes overlooked. Third point is maximum original or homologated power. The motorcycle cannot be derived from a machine producing more than twice the A2 limit, meaning the original version must not exceed 70 kilowatts. One example is Yamaha R1, which produces 150 kilowatts. Even if it's restricted to 35 kilowatts, it cannot be legally registered as A2 compliant. The most popular motorcycle that you can restrict for A2 are Honda CBR 650R, Yamaha MT-07, Suzuki GSX S950, Kawasaki Z900, Yamaha R7, Kawasaki Ninja 650, Suzuki SV650. Remember that the restrictions must be permanent, not something that can be turned on or off with a switch or temporary adjustments. Example of valid methods include restrictions in the intake system or the ECU remapping, done by a professional workshop.